It's that time of the year again, Gamescom. It will actually be open to the public, which is really the exact opposite of how we lived for the last 2 years. Good luck to anyone who's going. I'll be enjoying the show from the comfort of my own home, because I think there's gonna be quite a lot of interesting stuff. We just had the THQ Nordic show, with the highlight being a pretty solid looking Alone in the Dark game. Seems like they're nailing the vibes. And on August the 23rd we're getting Gamescom Opening Night Live. A 2-hour long show with 30 plus games on stage. Last year we got the announcement of Saints Row here, of Marvel's Midnight Suns, Doke V, remember that wild looking open world Pokemon style game? Maybe it shows up again, that would be awesome. Now we already have some announcements and of course leaks and rumors on what will be shown, with fingers crossed for something Horizon Forbidden West related. So a ton to go over. Of course, if you like these weekly leak and rumor roundup videos, then leaving a like would really help me out. And subscribe, because every Sunday I post a video like this. Sonic Frontiers is already confirmed to show up. This is of course the open world Sonic game that, even though it's looking pretty empty and feeling a bit old graphics wise, it will not get delayed, as Sega recently confirmed again. The Steam database has it for December 3rd, which is a Saturday, so don't really count on it, but it does seem to hit in that first week of December. And you would think that if they show it at Gamescom, we get the official release date as well. It's really the only big game that should still be out this year that doesn't have a firm date yet, with Hogwarts Legacy now of course pushed to February 10th, 2023. Kinda sad, I would have loved to have that game this year, but it was also to be expected and will in the end of course only benefit the game. Now the community manager on Hogwarts does say that this wasn't the cool stuff to show you later this summer, so that there's more to come. Summer ends September 23rd. Like, it could totally be that we get the first trailer since that state of play in March during Gamescom, with Warner Bros. Games also having a booth at the show. Now this could totally be to promote Multiverses that of course just came out, or Gotham Knights, which is the most imminent release. But the only other possibility for Hogwarts in the summer would be a dedicated Sony show. Hogwarts Legacy was of course also announced at one of those PlayStation showcases back in 2020. Nick, who has a decent track record in terms of leaks, said that he heard that at the moment the plan for Sony is to have a show in August, although things can of course change, like take it with a grain of salt. But it is a fact that we had a big PlayStation showcase for the last 2 years in September. Just overall, don't expect an enormous presence from Sony at Gamescom. They usually had a pretty sizable booth, but are skipping this year. Still though, there are reasons to believe that we will actually see something during the Jeff Keighley show, and that it could be Horizon related. Want to go more in depth on it a little later. I first want to continue with the things that we know are happening for a fact. We are namely getting a first look at the brand new game from the Subnautica studio, Unknown Worlds, which should be a turn-based strategy game with a sci-fi setting, so completely different from their previous project. Goat Simulator 3, which launches on November 17th this year and has up to 4-player co-op as the big new feature, will also showcase a new trailer during Gamescom on August the 23rd. And what's interesting is that they of course memed the Dead Island 2 trailer as part of their reveal. Well, there is a chance that we actually see Dead Island 2 during Gamescom this year. Like I told you about this a couple of times already, but Embracer Group has repeatedly said that the game should launch before April 2023, so in their current financial year. Would of course be wild if that still came out this year as like a surprise holiday title, but I think it will be early 2023 instead. Now Tom Henderson recently spoke to people who tested the game already. Of course they weren't allowed to speak to him, but he still got the report, and they told him that co-op will have a bigger focus this time, and that the cast is completely new, with 5-6 new characters coming to the game, and also that Dead Island 2 takes place in multiple locations, including Hollywood and San Francisco, with that first trailer of course including Venice Beach. Now it is worth noting that Dead Island 2 switched many developers, so it could totally be that that first trailer is not representative of the game anymore. The original was made by Techland, who then of course went on to work on Dying Light, but Dead Island 2 is now in the works at Dambuster Studio, who made Homefront: The Revolution before this. That's also the only game they made prior to Dead Island 2, so I'm curious how it shakes out. Tom notes that it could also be a Game Award reveal in December, although last year Embracer chose Gamescom as the stage for their other big game, Saints Row. So maybe we see a similar thing happened this year with Dead Island 2 on August 23rd. We also still know that a Need for Speed title is planned for Q3 of EA's financial year, which is October, November or December, with Jeff Grubb very recently saying that the game is still on schedule, and actually Need for Speed Heat, the most recent title, was also revealed at the German show. Now interesting is that that game was made by Ghost Games, who also did more recent Need for Speed titles, and it's now Criterion again, who is known for the Burnout series and also did Need for Speed Rivals and Most Wanted, that will be leading the charge on this new Need for Speed title. It should be next-gen only and take place in a pretty big open Miami, according to leaks, and it's made in 3 years instead of 2 years that we saw for the recent titles. So hopefully it comes off great. I think we will see it at Gamescom. On Take-Two's current financial year, we still see the new Tales from the Borderlands game for fiscal 2023, so before April 2023, we only have this image so far, but more info should be coming in the summer, which could totally be Gamescom. But maybe Take-Two had bigger plans, because next to Marvel's Midnight Suns delay, which was of course another game that got pushed to 2023 this past week, Take-Two had another unannounced title that has been internally delayed as well, which caused their forecast to be slightly different in terms of how much money they were going to make. Now, I would not be surprised if that was like BioShock, because that was of course also in the GeForce Now leak as BioShock 2022. Obviously not gonna happen anymore, maybe it's BioShock 2023 or 2024 right now. But yeah, there could have been a world where it was going to be revealed this summer, but we should not expect it anymore. Maybe you saw the brief teaser for a new Tekken project at EVO with a very nice new character model for Kazuya. The Game Awards Twitter account tweeted it with the text like "Get ready," which was also the text on the screen for the teaser. So now people are thinking, hey, we will get the full reveal at Game Awards in December. But remember that the Game Awards Twitter account also tweets a lot about the Gamescom announcements, and the Game Awards YouTube account hosts the Gamescom show and also pushes all the trailers live for the first time. Like, it's all a Jeff Keighley brand, meaning that they might actually reveal Tekken 8 or whatever it's gonna be at Gamescom. Tekken 7 was 5 years ago, which is wild to think about. Now, Bandai Namco could of course also surprise us with Elden Ring DLC, which seems inevitable. Although, personally, I would be more hyped for new content for Horizon Forbidden West. Like, maybe you remember this, but last year Guerrilla Games had a special segment at Gamescom where they announced the release date for Forbidden West and also the 60 FPS patch for Zero Dawn. And now they let everyone know on Twitter that the community team is heading to Gamescom, so make sure you say hi to us on the show floor. Now sure, Cologne is relatively close to Amsterdam, so it makes sense that they want to meet up with people from the community there. There will likely be some cosplayers, but it of course could also mean that we will have some sort of announcement at the show, like an Horizon Forbidden West expansion, just like we saw for Zero Dawn. It's really inevitable, looking at the many hints we found in the game. A motion capture artist for Aloy that suddenly is back recording new stuff, and it's also an announcement that is on like the level you would expect for a third-party stage, as Sony usually likes to unveil big new titles in their own shows. Last year, Gamescom ended with the Death Stranding's Director's Cut deep dive, so that's kind of the level of announcement we can expect from Sony. I think Horizon DLC is kind of on that level in a way, although it's of course way more exciting. I hope it's just more than a launch trailer for The Last of Us Part 1. Fingers crossed. Speaking of Kojima, he and Jeff are of course big buds, and Hideo actually posted an image just now teasing that he was working on a video or trailer of some sorts, and he usually does this when he's ready to reveal something very soon. High chance this is for Microsoft's exclusive Overdose that was revealed during the recent Xbox show, and Xbox will overall, by the way, have a stream during Gamescom 2 on Thursday, August 25th. They will showcase these games that you see right here. Highlights include Lies of P, a Bloodborne clone, but I don't mind, it looks pretty awesome. High on Life, which of course looks great as well, and the Plague Tale Requiem, the one that I'm mostly looking forward to. Nothing too big from Microsoft's first party, but could still be a fun watch. Now Ubisoft also has a Gamescom booth, but that will probably be all about Skull and Bones. And with the 2 extra AAA delays to 2023, there are not a ton of big titles that people can buy during Black Friday. So they kind of got an open window to perform, even though the re-reveal did not really impress a lot of people. Last year, Ubisoft announced the beta for Riders Republic during Gamescom, so maybe we see that now, but for Skull and Bones, as I really think a demo for everyone to try can make more people interested, as right now, the anticipation seems pretty low. Ubisoft, of course, has way more games. I still think The Division Heartland might launch this year, but I think they will save those announcements for their Ubisoft Forward event on September 10th. So we got that. Fingers crossed for that PlayStation showcase. I mean, they still want to like release 2 unannounced live service games before April 2023. You gotta announce them somewhere, right? And yeah, then we also have Gamescom on August 23rd. And Jeff, by the way, said about Gamescom that it will have some very cool guests that are coming to Germany to join us on stage, as well as reveal their games and showcase new content. Again, Gorilla is going there. It would be awesome to have them on stage, of course. And he also said that we will have a mix of games that have already been announced and a fair number of new game announced as well. And some cool surprises you would not expect. He then later showed up on a podcast and saying that 1/3 of the things they have are new games. 30 games, so 1/3, 10 new games, which is pretty huge. And then we will have like more announcements of things that will show up during Gamescom in the coming week. So we will of course be live reacting on August 23rd. I hope you can watch with us. It's by the way the same day that Saints Row comes out, so overall it should be pretty hyped. Like, I'm looking forward to that game. It's actually one of the only 2022 games that I'm still looking forward to, and that we also plan to do a ton of content on, next to God of War and Gotham Knights, with like streams and videos likely coming for Plague Tale Requiem, Skull and Bones, and The Last of Us Part 1 as well. But yeah, we're still seeing those ripple effects from COVID, and I think developers are like also scared because of what happened with Cyberpunk. So that's why we see games get pushed more often. They want to really hit that near perfect state before they launch it, which is great for us, but it does mean that years like this are pretty bare bones, while now 2023 looks crazy, like early. I don't know how we're gonna like find the time to play everything, and that should also not be good to launch everything in the same week again, like we kinda had this year. Before we go, I want a quick shout out to EPOS for sending me this brand new headset. If you watch my streams, you know that I'm always wearing a headset like this, because it's mostly because of the sound quality. Like, I wear this all the time when I sit here, and this is the newest version, and I really like it. It's also like closed, so I don't hear the sort of air vent that is like blowing all the time, because of course super hot here. It has like a volume button, which is kind of nice, so you can tweak the audio. I dig it. I recommend it, and I want to thank EPOS, of course, for sending me this. So, hope you will be subscribing if you haven't already, because next week we'll of course have another Sunday video. We'll keep you posted on all the latest rumors and news. A like on the video would really help me out. And 2023, already like before the Marvel Midnight Suns and Hogwarts Legacy delay, looked crazy. But yeah, it's getting even crazier. You can watch my video on a full preview by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.